I just got back from this trip and it was pretty interesting. So I had a chance to go speak at one of the national franchise companies' annual meeting. It was pretty cool to see a bunch of people who have purchased franchises and are coming into our business and to see some of them at different stages, right? And so I gave this talk and it was titled Grit, Grind, Grow. When I think about this talk I had a chance to give, is it really started to re-inspire me to think about when we started our company and we had to put that grit in, right? To get going, go knocking doors on, commercial services, negotiating deals, taking calls at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right? And then we got into that grind part where, you're like, crap, this is actually my job. I got to do this every single day to grow this business, right? And then finally we had great success. So if I'm thinking about my businesses are in a growth mode right now, and that's great. But we've had to grind hard. Like, it's cool to see us jump on videos and all this content that we put out, but the best stuff we have to do behind the scenes is tough. It's really tough. It took a ton of grit to go film 300 videos in an 8-month period and then kind of grind it out and manage all the social media channels and the stuff that we have to do on a regular basis in order to get to the point where we're in a growth phase, right? Every one of you guys are in a different place right now, right? Everyone's in a different place. So for some of you guys who are in here, you're watching this and you guys are just getting ready to it's your first year back. Maybe you did one solid year, you worked through your cash flow, you saved some money to get through the winter time, and now it's ready to put that kind of grit back in place, right? And you're trying to figure out where you're at. For others ones of you guys, you might have finished up your first year or second year and you had a really good year and you got to keep that grind going. And then many of you guys in here as well, you guys as companies are doing really, really well and you're already in that growth phase. You're growing. And I know a lot of you guys who are even at a point where you're like, man, I've made enough money, my company's doing great, and we're just gonna be profitable like we always have been, right? And if we grow at 5, 10%, that's fine. The reason this is so important is that we have to identify where we're at and realize that it's just a moment in time. It's just a moment in time. And that moment of time is up to us on how fast we move from stage to stage to stage. It's all based on the lifestyle we want. So if we're in that grit stage, where we're just trying to get our first route built, that's fine. That might take us 6 months. It might take us 2 months. It might take us 5 years or 10 years, depending on what you want to accomplish, right? But if we recognize it, then we're ready to prepare to move to the next phase. When we get into the grind stage, you know what? Some of us have been grinding for 20 years. And that's cool. We love it. I watch a lot of these guys in the door-to-door side. These guys are out there grinding every day, building big companies. And they're just going to keep grinding, man. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're just going to keep grinding. Some of us like to have like a different life and not have to do that. And I'm not pointing out door to door, just in general, right? There's all different ways to grind. And then growth. Growth, we get to the point where we're happy and we can stop growth or we just let it roll. But the biggest key that I took away from this talk I gave the other day was that it doesn't really matter what's important to me. What matters is what's important to you and the pace that you want to move through these steps. I hope this gets you guys inspired. And if you got some more comments about this, put them down here. If you're listening to this in your service vehicle, think about where you're at and what's important to you. If you're sitting in your office thinking about this thing, just go, man, where am I? And look out in your office and say, hey, do they know where we're at? Do my staff know where we're at? Because we need to let them know.